Alright, so today I figured I'd do like a more of a long form video. Um, I took a picture of myself with some nice like 3/4 lighting so I could just describe like the process and how I begin a portrait, I guess. And you know, it's kind of a little bit different every time, but this is just going to be like a typical way I would start it. So I really try to, in the beginning, I try to find those shadow shapes. And I'm trying to be a little bit precise, a little bit more precise with the drawing. The beginning stage is just kind of like getting the overall like shape down. Make sure you got the right size and like of the head, and then the correct proportions. So typically like to measure from like maybe ear to ear and then flip that around and flip that vertically and see what that measurement is. So right now I got from the chin to the eyebrow, and that's like the ears. So I'm noticing that the face needs to be a little bit thinner. And then kind of just like block in some of these darker areas. Right now I'm just kind of, I got some black and going with a little bit of alizarin crimson to keep it warm, and then a little bit of cad red to keep it warm as well. I really want the shadows to be like nice and warm. So when I mix the flesh tone colors and blend them into the skin, or blend them into the shadow, you get a nice effect. I'm gonna introduce a little bit of Viridian green up by the eyebrow. I like to find those greens in there. And we'll get a little bit of the nose in there. I'm gonna try to figure out because I found that measurement, but then I want to figure out how tall the forehead is. Which it may look like it needs to go up a little bit more. More of a point there. I think I tend to make the face a little bit wider than it actually is, so I'm going to try to avoid that this time. And I'm going to hit that nose shadow there. And to start off with, I'm just kind of using one brush just for the shadows, just to get the drawing in there. Get that triangle shape of the I don't know, whatever that part is in between the center of the eyebrow there, and then kind of get these like shapes in here. So I like to just, you know, paint some movement in there and get some of the shapes down so I can make sure I'm getting the right measurements moving forward. And you know, it just helps with the gesture, like this is a cheek, you know, and those like the roundness of the top of the head helps to get that stuff in there. And I think the nose is looking pretty good. All right. get the eye line in there. Little, you know, underneath the eye there and here. And then get the cheekbone. Make sure I still got this measurement correct. So ear to ear. Yep. That's looking good. It really helps to get the proportions pretty close in the beginning. It just makes me feel better about the piece, and I'm not like struggling, and there's definitely a lot of struggling that happens throughout the piece, so no need to make it harder on myself. Get some green in there, some Viridian. Beard is really green. So I put those undertones of like green in there, so that way when I put lighter colors on top, the green really comes out. Got quite a big distance right there between the shadow of the nose and then the upper lip. That shadow right there. It really helps to have a nice light source, especially for painting when you're kind of at the drawing stage here. It's good to find those shadow shapes and lay them in there. Got a little shadow there, and then this is all like chin here, a little bit of a beard. And I think like at this stage, since I'm starting to see that it's looking like a face at this point, I'm going to try to get some of the background, some of that background in. All right, so yeah, I'm just gonna start really light with a brand new brush. And I'm just gonna go hit it with a bunch of transparent colors. So we're going Viridian, let's hold. Indian yellow, and then I'm gonna go with some alizarin crimson, little ultramarine blue, this is gonna look a little strange at first, and I want to get in the neck area a little bit. I'm gonna go back with that really warm color, a lot of reflected light in the neck most of the time, so it gets really warm down there. So I'll keep that a little bit more transparent. And then come in with some black, using ivory black and alizarin crimson, and really hit those darks. Got quite a chin angle there. Like one side of my face is like a little bit smoother, and then I have like this harsher angle here. And you know, I like to get the background in usually as soon as possible, so you can judge things better. So that's why I'm kind of like starting already on the back plate. Back plate, that's like work talk, but starting on the background. Neck comes up here a little bit more. Beard falls a little shorter. And then got the sweater here. I like working on this board. It's nice and smooth. Really push the paint around. See, I'm noticing that my neck is a little small here. Comes all the way out to here. I always make the neck a little too skinny. All right. I try to get all the white areas covered up. That's usually my main goal. It's really hard to judge if something is too bright or too dark when you don't have, you got all these white specks messing up your judgment. So no matter what, just get it covered with something. That's usually my goal. So I try to, let's see. Yeah, and then I'm just gonna go in there. That's good for now, as far as the background goes. And then I'm gonna grab some skin tone, which I kind of already have a little bit mixed up here from the last painting I did. So just gonna mix a little bit of Indian yellow into this mixture. And we're just kind of gonna go for it. Kind of mixing. We'll just keep it light for now. Then I'll add some little bit more red into the mixture as it comes to the side of the head there. A little bit more purple into it. And a little bit of Viridian. That'll actually make it more purple. For some reason, a little bit of green mixed with red kind of gives you like a nice purple color. And sometimes I forget about the yellow, so I'm going to add some Indian yellow hue in there. Go a little green on the side here. I recently added Viridian green back into my palette, and so nice. Kind of just mixing like the colors instinctually, not really like thinking too much about it, just kind of reacting to what I see here. Like if I notice a little bit more green, like here on the eyebrow, I just add a little bit more green. So it's just like guesswork, kind of. Gonna add some green underneath the eye, which is quite predominant. It's always kind of there. A little bit more red in the cheeks. Yeah, the goal isn't really to get it to look like, I mean, you want it to look like something, but it's not going to look super great in the beginning, at least not for me. There's like a lot of layers that I like to get in there. I'm gonna have to bring up the eyebrow a bit. Looks a little bit closed off in there. And I'm really gonna punch the red in the eyebrow, or in this area. Get a little bit of green in there for the eyebrow. Little Viridian and alizarin crimson is a nice color in this area. Get that nice red, but also with the green, kind of cancels it out a little bit. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here. Let's just keep going with the skin tones here. Because I'm just trying to get the general shapes. A little bit more pinky, I think, in this area. A little bit of alizarin. Yeah, there we go. And I'm gonna soften that edge. Just get those those edges correct. Add a little bit of yellow ochre to some white and kind of get this little hit right there, and some of these hits over here, just so I can keep that keep the visual aspect of it. Like, I like to see where the painting is going. Sometimes it gives me a little bit of hope that I'm gonna get there, you know. Yeah, so let's add a little bit of a cooler highlight up here on the head. There we go. So yeah, I'd like to get that contrast in there right out the gate, and like get a little bit of hit on the nose and know where the painting is kind of going. You know what I'm saying? I really think it helps build the confidence as you go, you know. Let's get a little bit of the bottom part of the chin mixed. A little bit of alizarin and green and cad red. Yeah, that's a nice color right there. I'm trying to get everything covered. A little bit of Viridian, I think, would be nice in this area, especially on the edges. And then there's a really, really nice bright green, which I'm gonna mix with some Viridian and yellow, cad yellow right there, and a little bit on this side, some in the down here. It goes a little bit more blue than that, so add a little bit more Viridian, and we'll just block in some of those areas. Now see what I'm doing is I'm leaving all these white areas, which is the point of what I was trying to do, is like fill in all this stuff. So I'm just gonna go around and kind of blend some of these areas where I already have pigment down, and kind of just like get rid of some of those whiter areas, because it's gonna get really distracting, you know, at some point. So yeah, just a little bit more so we can get it feeling more like a finished, you know. Got all these spots everywhere, it's kind of hard to see. See, I'm just like softening edges as I go, keeping this edge like soft and then blending this into the background. And we're gonna hit a little bit of a dark area up there for the what am I trying to say? The hairline up here. A little bit of a hairline marker there, and we'll just keep going along. Mix some of this a little bit in here. Just kind of make it a little bit fuzzy and yep. And then come in here with a little bit of a dark edge because I think this nostril comes out a little bit more. And add a little bit more of a darker feel for where the lips are. Keeping it quite red where these shadows are, I think is essential. And then it gets a little bit more green in areas where the beard is. So you can see how this can come together quite quickly. Just like blocking in, keeping things very, very simple. I'm gonna go back in and, because I think that there's a nice brighter area here in the background that I really want to play with. Let's see, maybe like this nice blue color, contrast the skin. And then we can just get these nice outlines of like the ear. And we will put a little bit more red in that ear too, so we know it's an ear. Going hard with the red. Sometimes the CAD red has a little bit too much like white in it, so I like to add a little bit of alizarin to get that nice, deep, rich red right there. That's often found in the ears because a lot of light bouncing around in there and stuff. And then I'm gonna take this smaller brush and hit the ear here so we don't forget about that. There's a lot of red in it. Again, with the alizarin and the cadmium. Just gonna hit that and then hit a little bit of a line there like that. So you see how it can, like, it's coming together. Really feels pretty nice at the moment. I'm gonna go in with the other side, but I'm gonna go a little bit greener over here and not make it so light. Just kind of get some of these like shapes in the background. You know, I'm not trying to push it too far because I want the skin to be. But if you keep these colors in the background quite cool and then the face quite warm, it actually is kind of does the job for you. You don't really have to. The values are a little bit. You can make the values a little lighter as long as you got some good background or some good warm and cool stuff going on. So I'm gonna add a little bit of this purple, dark blue color. Oh, even more purple over here. And then this gets really dark up here, so I'm gonna go in with a green brown with some. What do we got here? We got the Indian yellow hue. With some alizarin and then some viridian. I'm gonna mix just like a very neutral kind of brown color. We're gonna go there with it, so it gets really dark up there. It's not the exact color I was looking for. Maybe I'll add some black to it. I'm trying to make like a dark green, I think. A little bit of viridian. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Oh, and then I really like this. There's like a really dark shape back here from when I took the picture. I like it, so I'm gonna keep it. But you see, it's only been like, I don't know, like half an hour or an hour, and you can get something looking pretty good. Now this is kind of like a smaller canvas, so it's working on something a little bit larger or smaller. It might take a little bit more, and this is kind of just like a study, so I just wanted to get something laid in quickly. But oftentimes that's like what makes it move a little bit faster, is when you're just like not thinking about it too much. Soften this beard area here, transitions to that dark area a little bit too quickly, and get this shirt color in here a little bit. But yeah, this is really coming along. I just wanted to show you how I like lay things out, and it doesn't really like, just put color down and get it in there, and then you can judge it so much better. You know, if you the quicker you can get stuff like laid in, the better off you'll be. I think anyway. At least that's how it works for me. I'll put a little bit of highlight there, but it's a little bit more green, so I'm gonna go in with some more green. And then come in with the cooler, more purple highlight on top of that, off to the side here. But yeah, this is coming along. You know, I haven't painted in I don't even know, like a few weeks or something. So like, or maybe a month even. So, you know, getting back into it, I just like to start with something I know, like my face, and you know, build my confidence back up. Because, you know, when you don't paint for that long, you I feel like I lose a little confidence in what I'm doing. I second guess myself a lot. So painting a familiar subject matter is always a good way to get back in to it. But yeah, there's a little study. Feels good to be painting again. So I'm about to wrap this video up. I got some stuff to do. I gotta go pick up or drop some prints off to the printer so I can get some prints done for the art fairs this summer. But yeah, thanks for joining, and hopefully I can do a lot more of these more like longer form videos that are just like kind of me painting and talking about the process and how I get to the end.